Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for a few minutes with the mayor. I'm pleased to have as a special guest today Mr. Scott Taylor, the principal at Manzanita Elementary School. Welcome, Scott.
Thank you.
May I call
It's
you
good
Scott?
to be here. Absolutely.
Okay. We had a conversation recently where you shared some pretty great news that I'm hoping you'll share with the audience. But before we get started, would you tell us a little bit about your background, how you got here, how you got to be principal of Manzanita?
Well, I went to Manzanita kindergarten through 5th grade, so
Oh,
I
my
was a
goodness.
student there many years ago, and was fortunate enough that I came back to, I'm from Kingman, so I came back to Manzanita and was able to be a teacher for quite a few years and worked my way up to assistant principal and then back to teacher and then back to principal. So I've been there about 25 years as a teacher or a principal, and was there, of course, kindergarten through 5th grade. So Manzanita's in my blood. It's a special place to me.
Oh, absolutely. Both my children went to Manzanita. I know my son was in.
I taught him. He was a great kid.
Oh, well, and maybe that's why he says you're his favorite teacher
Ah.
of all time.
Well, thank
And
you.
I know my daughter was in school. I believe you were the principal at the
I was the
time.
assistant principal when
Assistant
Melissa was
principal.
there.
Well, they both had a very, very great experience at Manzanita.
I'm glad to hear that.
And no doubt you were a good part of that.
I appreciate that.
So about education, I mean, both of my kids said that you were always very innovative and a really fun teacher as far as finding new ways to get information where kids not just understand but really appreciate it. I will tell you that my son is a huge fan of classic rock, which somehow, I'm not sure how that you work that into the lesson plan, but that's pretty good stuff. You want to.
I always enjoyed, when you enjoy something, when you enjoy it, then it kind of comes through when you're in class. So I always enjoyed teaching through the different things that interested me. So often classic rock, particularly the band The Who, interested me, and we were able to somehow make it work when we were talking about the science or the math. So we had fun. It was fun.
Oh, I will say, and that here so many years later, he remembers that so vividly. And it's kind of challenging, though, because he can beat us at 5 for 5, identify the song, hands down. But that's great stuff. How many students do you think you've taught?
Oh, good question. Oh, probably about 600.
Wow.
Probably around 600.
So how do you know when you've created a success? How do you know that when the child gets it, when the student gets it, when you've got them on the right path?
There's no one magical way of doing it. There's no one way of teaching. Each classroom is different, and the way you address each class is based on what the students are interested in. So you take the class and you learn how they react to what you're teaching, and you go from there and you adapt it each year. So for me, I enjoyed teaching because it was a challenge, and you never knew what direction your class would take you that year, and that was the fun part for me. I could take it in the direction. If they were interested in science, we could tailor our math and our English and things like that into that area. It was a little bit different, though, because I taught in a gifted accelerated classroom, so it's a little bit different. You really teach a lot of your concepts at one time in one subject, inclusively, so you're teaching multiple concepts at once.
Wow. Well,
So-
I just really like your style and way to get to the students knowing that one size, that one method really doesn't fit all. So.
No, each class is different, so there's no one way of saying how you would reach that point.
Oh.
So.
So I recently attended an Arizona town hall regarding education and the huge funding need we have in the state of Arizona. We recognize that we're about 50th in the nation as far as funding for education from K-12. It appears that the residents are finally starting to take notice and starting to understand that education is the most critical component to workforce development. These are absolutely the leaders of our future, and how we prepare them today will really affect our quality of life in the future. Knowing we have these problems that it's going to take some time for the legislator to respond and learn to appropriately fund our classrooms. I was delighted to hear that you did something really innovative when it came to trying to find funding for your program. Would you care to share that with our community?
We're really fortunate in that Manzanita Elementary and Mount Tipton also received some extra funding from the state of Arizona. We were in the top 10% of schools within the state of Arizona when it came to testing results. And we were fortunate enough that we received $287,000 to spend within Manzanita. So it has already had a big impact on what we do at our school. And our hope is to try to expand what we do at Manzanita to make it bigger and better. And we're just really fortunate to have that money.
So what does that look like? How did that translate? Did it go in the classrooms, teacher pay? I know that's a real concern.
Well, state of Arizona came back with criteria, so there were quite a few different things that we had to look at in order to make sure that we met that criteria. And one of them was that we had to spend at least 50.1% of the money on teachers and assistants who are in the classroom. And that was a great thing.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
That helps. That's got to help with staff morale as well.
It did, and it came at a really great time right before Christmas. So we were able to make half the payment out in December, and then another part of the payment will be in July. And the intent is to say, if you're here in July, you get that money. And that was the intent behind the money. The money was there to try to entice people to stay.
Retention. It's about retention.
It's exactly.
Absolutely. And I know that was part of our discussion on the state level, is how do we go about recruiting and then retaining qualified, very capable teachers to our state.
We've been really fortunate at Manzanita. Over the years, we really have not had much of a turnover. Our teachers have stayed there. We've had teachers who've been there for 25, 30 years, and that's pretty common.
Well, that's to your credit as well, and I know
but that's
some
not
of
the
teachers,
norm.
You're absolutely right, but you do have a great group that almost seems somewhat like a family, if you will.
It is a family. Manzanita is a family, and we're really fortunate that we have so many who have stuck around for so many years. You know, the pay in Arizona is very low, and a lot of these people are highly qualified and can go elsewhere and make a lot more money. But they choose to call Manzanita and Kingman their home because I, like you, feel that it's a special place. I've lived here my entire life, and I came back to Kingman.
And that's what we want to see more of.
Right.
We want to see more of our students coming back after they've gone on and continued their education or found that job skill.
Absolutely. We have a couple of our people who are employed at Manzanita who were actually my students. And now they're employed at Manzanita, so it's nice to have them there, and they're in professional positions. So there are people coming back who appreciate what Kingman offers. It's a great place to live.
Well, we certainly hope that we can. I had just had a meeting with the school superintendent this morning, Mr. Jackson. Certainly hope that we can continue to partner with the school and the city because we know in order to bring young families here that want to stay here, raise their children here, we've got to be able to offer quality education across the board.
It's the first thing we hear from a lot of the parents who come in. They want to talk to realtors, and they're trying to find out specifically what schools are the best schools. And so we hear that an awful lot. Well, and you know what? I think we have a lot of good things happening in each of our schools.
Absolutely.
We truly do. I mean, we have a lot of great, talented people in each one of our schools. So we have a lot of good things going on.
We do. One of the things we talked about at this state town hall was, I brought up a comment, and I kind of think there's a lot of truth to it. You know, years ago, if you didn't like what was happening as a parent, if you didn't like what was happening at your school, you worked to make it better. You got involved and said, we're at this level, we want to be up here. How do we as parents assist you, the professionals, in creating a better classroom environment? Unfortunately, it's kind of turned from, I don't really like what this school is doing, I'm going to withdraw my child and take them elsewhere. We see more of that.
We do.
And I think that's unfortunate because we have great opportunity to work with what we have and just continue to make it better.
We do. We see a lot of that, but we're very fortunate. We reinstituted our parent-teacher organization this year, and we found a lot of, you know, it's a small group. It's a very small group, but it's a very active group, and they have already done so much for our school. It's amazing what a small group that really is motivated can do, and they really have accomplished quite a bit. So there are still a lot of people out there who are actively interested in helping schools.
That's wonderful, and we certainly know that we appreciate that help, and
Absolutely.
Hope to engage as many community members as possible. We know that we need to get to these children at a very young age and teach literacy. It used to be the cutoff was kind of third grade. We need to make
It
sure
still is.
It is.
It still
Okay,
is.
good.
You know, that's another thing. We're really fortunate. We have Rotary readers and so many different organizations that come in. Oh gosh, it's virtually every day. If you walk through the halls at Manzanita, you see a lot of different people who are volunteering their time. So Manzanita has really been fortunate over the years that Kingman has taken care of us. We partner with the Elks Club, with Rotary readers, and so many other different organizations here in Kingman that have really partnered with us and done a nice job helping us get where we are. So, I mean, while we have a lot of new computers coming in because of this money, and while we're able to offer incentives and sign-on bonuses and things like that, we got where we are due to the fact that we have great teachers and we have a lot of support here in Kingman.
Wow.
So,
you know, it's unfortunate that oftentimes when we talk about education, we seem focused on negative. And it seems like there are so many positive things going on, so much that we really haven't celebrated. And I really appreciate your efforts, what you're doing
thank you.
for Kingman, for our students, and for our future leaders.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So we've talked about where you were, where you're at. Some really great information. Would you be willing to share with Kingman something that we might not guess about you? Maybe a hidden talent or a passion, or?
Oh gosh, about me.
I'll go first. How's
Okay.
This is an education story. I don't remember what I got in trouble for, but in the 4th grade, I did something. I don't remember what it was. And my dad had very creative punishments. I was grounded the summer of 4th grade, and my punishment was to read the dictionary. I know that sounds absolutely crazy. And yes, he would test me, say, what letter are you on? And I'd say D, and I'd open the dictionary, and I'd hope to get that definition right. I know it sounds crazy, but you know what? It was probably the best gift he ever could have given me.
So you really spent a lot of time reading it.
I had no choice.
I think Bill Gates said he read the World Book when he was, I don't know, 13 or 14.
There you go, something
A
along
to
those
Z.
lines, right?
So I mean,
Yeah.
oh gosh, I alluded to the fact earlier that I'm almost infatuated with the old rock band The Who. So I spend a lot of time listening to them, trying to go to as many concerts as possible, and really delving into everything that is British rock, particularly The Who.
Now, is your family in?
Oh no.
Oh,
No, they
lot of
tolerate me.
earbuds here.
Yes, they tolerate me. You know, every once in a while I can coax one of them to go to a concert or something like that. But my immediate family, no, they don't share the same love, but they do appreciate The Who. They
well,
like them.
and I know your lovely wife Carrie, and she's an awesome teacher as well, and your
She
two beautiful daughters.
Yeah, they keep saying they want to go to a concert, but I don't think they're quite old enough to go to a concert just yet.
No, soon though, one of these days.
Oh, I hope it doesn't go
Right?
by
Not
too
too
soon.
soon. Not too soon. Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking this time to share with us.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We appreciate all you do for our students.
Thank you.
Good day.